You know, it's funny because Rain, he's been on the podcast twice now.
Hey.
And he talked about, he felt like at one point he was sort of an asshole on the set, and like where he's like, I wasn't an asshole. I wasn't mean to people. I was just like in my head and in a bad place and this and that. Do you remember those times?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding.
You do remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He says people would know. I'm sure people would say I was mean, but they would say, yeah, I remember, like, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was easy to make fun of because he was a little bit of a curmudgeon sometimes. But I got to be honest with you. I've been on many sets. Like, the comparison to, you know, some other major douchebags on sets is
You've worked with some douchebags?
Well, yeah, I mean, let me tell you, I've been, or I've heard about, you know, I've definitely heard horror stories. I've not worked with Charlie Sheen or anybody like that.
Right.
But, you know, I've heard bad things about Jim Belushi. You know, there's a few people that have like a rep, you know.
But you've never really seen it on set where you're like, oh my God, this guy is a diva, or this
No,
woman.
not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that I can, if I say one thing about this, you're going to guess who it is, and I can't say it, but it's not The Office. But you know, it's a weird.
It's not Bernie Mac.
No, I loved Bernie.
Was he great?
He was the greatest.
I hear that.
He was the greatest.
What do you remember about working with him?
He was the most generous. He used to have this big lunch in his room. Like, you know, you're supposed to go to to catering for lunch. And he'd be like, hey, come up in my dressing room. He has this huge dressing room. All the kids ate there with their moms. What? He had like different food up there. He was like, I'm doing this. He was so great. He was so grateful to be there. He just made sure everybody was super comfortable. Because there were kids on the show, he wanted to make sure their parents were comfortable.
Are you kidding me?
He was awesome. He was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It makes it even more tragic knowing how great of a guy he is.
You know, and it's so funny. The episode I got to do for Bernie Mac, Creed is in that episode. Creed Bratton is in that episode, but he doesn't have any lines. He's a background actor, but he was like a featured background actor playing a doctor. Right. So you kind of just see like the side of his head or something. Isn't that funny that we're both in the same episode? Yeah. And I didn't know him then. So wow. We weren't in the same space. So I didn't get to meet him till The Office. But
remember when you would fart every time you could on set?
Yes.
And everyone loved it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember when you used to wear sandals and shorts because they were only shooting you from the waist up?
Because it was too warm.
Remember when you had big feet?
Yes.
Talk though. Yes. What do you remember? Listen anywhere you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube.